So new photos shows UFO hovering over Canada before it was shot down by U.S. fighter jet. Really? I mean, really? Yeah. So apparently, if you guys saw this, it kind of looks like, I don't know, half a donut, maybe the Millennium Falcon, something like this. And look, I don't know. As usual, when you see these things, when I see images of these things, I'm always skeptical, always. Not because I don't believe, not because I don't want to believe, not because I'm calling people liars. If I see a picture of the Kardashians, I'm skeptical. I think it's staged. You know what I mean? So not to crap on UFOs in particular, but just in general, we're moving into that space of hyper reality. And anything I see anymore on the interwebs, I immediately distrust. And so, well, here we go with this exact thing. Let me read you a little bit from this story. A newly released image showing the UFO that was shot down by a U.S. fighter jet over Canada in 2023 has added more questions and uncertainty to the object floating over the Yukon. The grainy, blurry image captured the cylindrical suspected balloon. Remember that? They told us they shot down a bunch of balloons. Remember all that? Like, what was it, 5 different shoot downs in a couple months or something? You remember that? Yeah. Anyway, so cylindrical suspected balloon 40,000 feet above the Great White North in February of 2023, days before it was taken out, according to CTV News, which obtained the image through an information request with Canada's Department of National Defense. Okay. Does that seem legit? I don't know. As usual, right? I'm skeptical of everything these days. But they said that a U.S. F-22 shot the object, which was first tracked flying over Alaska 8 days earlier, out of the sky on February 11th, 2023. Now, if this is the image of the thing we're looking at, tell me that doesn't look like a balloon, because that doesn't look like a balloon to me at all. At all. Okay. I mean, I guess you could make a balloon that shape, but that wouldn't be the specific, shape you would make a balloon. I mean, unless you were trying to, obfuscate some things, make people believe they were seeing things they weren't, as I've mentioned in the past. But in this case, we're told that this is legit, coming from a FOIA request from Canada. Okay, so what does that mean? And if we actually shot this thing down, what is it? I mean, it looks like a, sort of a sideways horseshoe, right? Kind of a thick, like a thick sideways horseshoe. A C, right? Like a backwards C flying in the sky. Millennium Falcon-ish, kind of, if it had the cockpit on the side, right? Or whatever. And so, like I said, it made me go, okay. Anyway, so let me read this properly and get these crappy ads off of this page. My goodness gracious, all these stupid ads. Officials in the U.S. and Canada began tracking the UFO again when it crossed into Canadian airspace, and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, I mispronounced that, gave the order to shoot it down just after 4:50 p.m. An American pilot struck the object with an AIM-9X missile. Sounds serious. The airborne object, previously described as a small metallic balloon with a tethered payload, was spotted amid 3 other cases in which North America dealt with unidentified objects in the sky. Which, by the way, when you look at that remember the UFO flap we had with all this stuff in it? And, we were shooting these things down over a course of a couple weeks or a matter of days, whatever it was, I can't remember. But that's all but disappeared from these news cycles. Nobody talks about that anymore. They haven't released actual real footage or photographs, anything of what they actually shot down, except for that first one. You remember the first one? It was the CCP spy balloon or something that we got pictures of that, but the rest of them that came after that, we didn't get pictures of at all. Yeah, weird, right? And so what do we believe as part of this? And so it got me thinking in a lot of ways. Here we are, agro humans doing agro human things on Earth, and we see some things in the sky that we don't like, and we're like, pew, pew, Yosemite Sam, yeehaw, shoot them down, right? Well, I don't know. Is first contact going to be some sort of cosmic judgment to our warlike ways? Maybe the signal from the heavens will come and tell us, you've been very naughty. And we'll have to, answer to, whatever is out there watching, if it's watching at all. But anyway, so that leads us back to, we'll get back to this in a moment here, but that leads us to the question tonight. The first message from beyond, what should we expect? A lot of different ways to look at this. Specifically, aliens is obviously the most basic, the most easy, the one that kind of would hit the normies the hardest, because they'll be like, yeah, I'm down with speculating on that. But being a troubled mind, there's a ton of ways to look at this. You could look at deities, you could look at magic, you could look at simulation theory, you could look at, all manner of things. And we're going to do that tonight. And so the question becomes, what exactly do you think, or what would be your favorite theory, scary or whatever, shocking otherwise? What do you think the first message from beyond would or could be? And let's get creative. Let's get ideas together. Let's have fun tonight. And let's talk possibilities as usual, right? That's what we do on Troubled Minds anyway. So the whole point of this tonight is to just look at these possibilities. Because think of it that way, right? In the first sense, extraterrestrials, all right? Sending us some sort of signal from somewhere in the cosmos. That's the most basic. That's the most obvious. That's the one that tracks and makes the most sense, probably to the most amount of people. Okay. And who knows if they're actually watching us, then certainly there would be some level of judgment, right? Or unless they're past that, have like the aliens had an ego death and they're like, well, you know, the humans are kind of a disaster all by themselves, or you know, we kind of don't care. They're watching us for amusement. We're like their, you know, Kardashian show on the weekend or something. Like who knows? Who knows what this actually looks like? But if aliens are watching in any capacity whatsoever, then you got to expect there would be some form of, right, cosmic judgment in some way. I don't know. And so what does that look like? Of course, we're talking human morality. But in the cosmos, human morality might mean squat, have no currency or basis in anything, because we're only humans after all in a cosmic space. And the more cosmic things get, the larger sort of contextually as you zoom out, maybe human ethics are just a big cosmic joke. And so who really knows? I don't know. As usual. And by the way, a perfect time for all the disclaimers. As I always say, and it's the truth, I don't know anything. I'm just me with ideas and questions. And, you know, the premise of the show is if you ask, you know, 1,000 people the correct question, you're likely to get 1,000 different answers. That's what this is all about. There's no answers to be found here, just ideas, just possibilities, just what you think your best guess might be. Because clearly this is above my pay grade. This is probably above your pay grade. And I don't really know what would come next as part of this first contact. But in the past, we have talked about first contact from, let's say, an ancient deity. Let's say something finally woke up after going into a slumber for, you know, forever, for thousands of years or something to that effect. Or let's say a paranormal aspect of maybe first contact through a spirit board, or, you know, something like that, where it verifies that it's actually in contact with something in our space and whatever, right? Like, what does that look like? I don't know. Or, of course, maybe some sort of, you know, blaring murr, 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 that type of thing, where it's something to the effect of, you know, your simulation's about to end, right? Like that type of thing. Very Philip K. Dick, sort of maybe us from another timeline trying to communicate with us and tell us, hey, you guys are really screwing this up, so please don't, because it's gonna end badly if you don't get your stuff together. And so it is a theme, right? It is definitely a theme that we have this, even from, let's say, modern alien interpretations, when people say they have contact with them, with entities or channel things. As there's a theme, there's the concurrent theme, the going theme, probably the most prominent theme in that regard is that we're going to destroy the planet. We're down the wrong path. We're doing terrible things. We're poisoning our water, poisoning our air, doing all the things, right? Just destroying the earth for, you know, rare earth minerals, and treating people of the earth badly, and, you know, on and on. Like that's definitely a theme. And I think the wild part about that is that's all true. That's all incredibly true. Okay. Except would the aliens even care? And that's, again, becomes part of the larger context when you talk about human morals in a cosmic sense. Maybe they don't play. Maybe nobody cares. And it's on us to care. I don't know. As usual, right? You know me, the glass half full type of guy. If it's to be, it's up to me, right? That whole attitude. But I don't know. And so lots of ways to consider this and look at it. But back to this weird stuff. Now, isn't it strange, as part of this, I'll add this to the conversation because I think it's incredibly important here, that we had this flap. This is February 2023. And in a matter of days, we had several, quote, UFOs shot down. And the first one was actually a Chinese spy balloon, as we were told. We got actual photos of that from the actual, fighter jet that first engaged it. They said they shot it down with a missile, not like because they quote, knew it was a balloon. So they shot it down with sort of an inert missile just to kind of pop it and drop it to the ground. Right. So they didn't launch a, full on explosive package at the thing. But anyway, this is one of the ones that came out as part of it. And like I said, it is very, sideways C, or fat horseshoe, whatever you want to call it. And if this is what we were shooting down, this doesn't seem very balloon-like to me. And so the question becomes, if let's say these aliens are here in any capacity whatsoever, and we're shooting them down, or even if they're unmanned or something, okay, and we're still shooting their stuff down, is that going to like bring the that old Independence Day trope of, you know, we urge Los Angelinos to not discharge your firearms at the alien visitors. You might spark an interstellar war, right? Yeah. Anyway, so back to this. The airborne object previously described as a small metallic balloon with a tethered payload was spotted amid 3 other cases in which North America dealt with unidentified objects in the sky. Between February 10th and February 12th, 3 objects were spotted floating over North America before they were downed over Alaska, the Yukon, and Lake Huron, respectively. Okay, weird, right? They were all smaller than the suspected Chinese spy balloon, which is the first one that traveled from Alaska across the United States before it was shot down over South Carolina on February 4th. You guys remember all that? It was everybody was all up in a hizzy. It was the big to-do of the moment, and then suddenly it just disappeared from the news cycles. It completely vanished, and now it's finally back again for a moment because we got this unclassified photograph, which, by the way, doesn't look anything like a balloon whatsoever. So what the hell's going on with this? And do you think shooting things down, you know, the old Yosemite Sam approach, shoot first and ask questions later, which is a great thing for the mods, by the way, because, you know, pew pew, and then, you know, we'll sort it out later. But with aliens, probably not the best idea. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And it makes me wonder what the hell's really happening, of course, in that context. And is this going to taint first contact in any way? Whatever that looks like, whether that's going to be a paranormal first contact, whether that's going to be a temporal first contact, maybe us contacting ourselves from the future, you know, who knows? Like I said, you know me and my wild and crazy open mind and troubled mind. I kind of just wonder what all this looks like. But anyway, so China used American technology in its spy balloon that snooped on U.S. military bases earlier this year. A federal investigation analyzing the object's debris is found. Well, we haven't seen many pictures of it, have we? Nope. But anyway, the Canadian government was prepared to release the photo of the Yukon UFO, having declassified it and approved it for the public to see before holding off. Quote, attached is an image approved to be released, Canadian military leaders wrote on February 15th in 2023 in an email, according to the outlet. We are looking at getting a better one to send to you. Okay, so if it looks like that, an actual horseshoe in the sky, it kind of, with no really descript features, okay? This seems very much like the UFOs of Lou Elizondo, right? No flight surfaces, no visible flight surfaces, no visible propulsion. Like was it dancing around the sky? Was it floating with the wind like a balloon might? Like there's a lot of information that we don't have regarding this stuff, okay? And to me, that says, hold on now. What actually happened? And why don't we have any more information than this? And this is the most compelling one so far to me. I haven't looked at what some of the analysts that kind of dig into this stuff have said about it yet, because I don't like to taint my ideas. But in this looks certainly not like a spy balloon. This looks more like I might expect a UFO to be to actually be be perceived as or photographed as, if you're looking at something flying around in our atmosphere. So I don't know. So back to the question tonight. And again, does this muddy the waters when it comes to first contact? Because we're just, Yosemite Sam and things out of the sky. But the question for the evening is the first message from beyond. What should we expect? And so what do you think? One, what would be your let's say favorite idea regarding, the simulation countdown? We've been given a warning where this is, coming, and the simulation is about to shut down and reset to, maybe 1999 or whatever. Very much like the Matrix, right? Something like that. Or is it something like, judgment, cosmic judgment, or who knows? Like I said, ourselves from the future. There's a lot of ways to look at this. Like an ancient deity finally wakes up after being sort of an absentee parent for, thousands of years, wakes up and goes, whoa, what the hell have you guys been up to? Like, what is going on over there? Right? That type of stuff. I don't know. As usual, like I said previously, it really depends on your worldview, doesn't it? It depends on sort of if you're locked into the scientific aspect, where there are no aliens here, there are no aliens in existence until we can prove them. Or, if the aliens sort of dip into the spiritual aspect of things, if you're in the spiritual space and kind of recognize them as maybe entities from beyond the veil, or again, who knows, Nephilim or whatever, right? Angels and demons. As usual, if you ask the right question, you're likely to get 1,000 different answers from 1,000 different people. And that's exactly the idea tonight. So I don't know, no answers from me, just ideas. But of course, if you're interested in some of the things that I brainstormed, it is in the write-up down below if you want to check it out. But I'd rather hear from you. As usual, I can rattle on by myself quite efficiently these days. Not efficiently, sufficiently. Efficiently is not my strong suit, but efficiently for sure. But I'd love to hear what you think on this. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org, and we'll put you on the show. It's as easy as that. And that puts us about where we need to be, by the way. So that's the question. What does this first contact look like? Do you think shooting things down, 3 or 4 in the space of a few days back in February of 2023 might taint our chances with a civilization that might have wanted to contact us? Imagine if that was our first contact and we blew it by shooting things down. What if our first confirmed alien signal isn't a message of peace or an invitation to explore the stars, but something far more unsettling? Could it be a countdown, a judgment from an advanced civilization, or a revelation that we live within a simulation set to end? Are these scenarios just speculation, or might they hint at a reality we're not yet ready to face? And that's what's on my mind tonight. First contact. And of course, this is in the news about, a week or 10 days ago, something to that effect. This new photo shows UFO hovering over Canada before it was shot down by U.S. fighter jet. Welcome to Earth, like Will Smith said in Independence Day as he punched the alien that he just brought down in his anyway, welcome to Earth, pew pew, right? Well, I'm not suggesting, other than sort of flippantly, that this might be an extraterrestrial craft, but it sure doesn't look like something we fly, does it? Where am I wrong here? In that regard, okay? So this certainly doesn't look like a balloon. This certainly doesn't look like a high definition image. This certainly looks, again, as usual, blurry, a little bit maybe obfuscated in terms of they don't want us to know. It's it's unclassified now, at least according to Canada. Shout out our friends in Canada. But this, well, I don't know, the Millennium Falcon, Han Solo has arrived. Like, what is this? Anyway, and do you think this will, assuming in some capacity, this might be not of this realm, not of this world, and we're shooting these things down, do you think that it will spoil our chances at a solid, nice first contact? And what do we expect in the larger context of that? The first message from beyond, what should we expect?